Greetings, friends. It's Camille. I'd like to continue reading our chapter book together. Our book is The House at Pooh Corner by A.A. Milne. This is chapter 4. We'll read it in 2 parts. Here's the first part, in which it is shown that Tiggers don't climb trees. One day, when Pooh was thinking, he thought he would go and see Eeyore, because he hadn't seen him since yesterday. And as he walked through the heather, singing to himself, he suddenly remembered that he hadn't seen Owl since the day before yesterday. So he thought that he would just look in at the 100-acre wood on the way and see if Owl was at home. Well, he went on singing until he came to the part of the stream where the stepping stones were, and when he was in the middle of the 3rd stone, he began to wonder how Kanga and Roo and Tigger were getting on, because they all lived together in a different part of the forest. He thought, I haven't seen Roo for a long time, and if I don't see him today, it will be a still longer time. So he sat down on the stone in the middle of the stream and sang another verse of his song while he wondered what to do. The other verse of the song was like this. I could spend a happy morning seeing Roo. I could spend a happy morning being Pooh. For it doesn't seem to matter if I don't get any fatter, and I don't get any fatter what I do. The sun was so delightfully warm, and the stone, which had been sitting in it for a long time, was so warm too that Pooh had almost decided to go on being Pooh in the middle of the stream for the rest of the morning, when he remembered Rabbit. Rabbit, said Pooh to himself, I like talking to Rabbit. He talks about sensible things. He doesn't use long, difficult words like Owl. He uses short, easy words like, what about lunch? And help yourself, Pooh. I suppose really I ought to go and see Rabbit. Which made him think of another verse. Oh, I like his way of talking, yes I do. It's the nicest way of talking just for 2. And to help yourself with Rabbit, though it may become a habit, is a pleasant sort of habit for a Pooh. So when he had sung this, he got up off his stone, walked back across the stream, and set off for Rabbit's house. But he hadn't got far before he began to say to himself, yes, but suppose Rabbit is out. Or suppose I get stuck in his front door again, coming out, as I did once when his front door wasn't big enough. Because I know I'm not getting any fatter, but his front door may be getting thinner. So wouldn't it be better if, and all the time he was saying things like this, he was going more and more westerly without thinking, until suddenly he found himself at his own front door again. And it was 11 o'clock, which was time for a little something. Half an hour later, he was doing what he had always really meant to do. He was stumping off to Piglet's house, and as he walked, he wiped his mouth with the back of his paw and sang rather a fluffy song through the fur. It went like this. I could spend a happy morning seeing Piglet, and I couldn't spend a happy morning not seeing Piglet. And it doesn't seem to matter if I don't see Owl and Eeyore or any of the others, and I'm not going to see Owl or Eeyore or any of the others, or Christopher Robin. Written down like this, it doesn't seem a very good song, but coming through pale Fawn Fluff at about 11:30 on a very sunny morning, it seemed to Pooh to be one of the best songs he had ever sung, so he went on singing it. Piglet was busy digging a small hole in the ground outside his house. Hello, Piglet, said Pooh. "Hello, Pooh," said Piglet, giving a jump of surprise. "I knew it was you." "So did I," said Pooh. "What are you doing?" "I'm planting a haycorn, Pooh, so that it can grow up into an oak tree and have lots of acorns just outside the front door instead of having to walk miles and miles. Do you see, Pooh?" "It will, because Christopher Robin says it will, so that's why I'm planting it." "Well," said Pooh, "if I plant a honeycomb outside my house, then it will grow up into a beehive." Piglet wasn't quite sure about this. "Or a piece of a honeycomb," said Pooh, "so as not to waste too much. Only then I might only get a piece of a beehive, and it might be the wrong piece, where the bees were buzzing and not honeying. Bother." Piglet agreed that that would be rather bothering. "Besides, Pooh, it's a very difficult thing, planting, unless you know how to do it," he said, and he put the acorn in the hole he had made and covered it up with earth and jumped on it. "I do know," said Pooh, "because Christopher Robin gave me a nasturtium seed, and I planted it, and I'm going to have nasturtiums all over the front door." "I thought they were called nasturtiums," said Piglet timidly, as he went on jumping. "No," said Pooh, "not these. These are called nasturtiums." When Piglet had finished jumping, he wiped his paws on his front and said, "What shall we do now?" And Pooh said, "Let's go and see Kanga and Roo and Tigger." And Piglet said, "Yes, let's," because he was still a little anxious about Tigger, who was a very bouncy animal, with a way of saying, "How do you do? How do you do?" which always left your ears full of sand, even after Kanga had said, "Gently, Tigger dear," and had helped you up again. So they set off for Kanga's house. Now it happened that Kanga had felt rather motherly that morning and wanting to count things, like Roo's vests, and how many pieces of soap there were left, and the 2 clean spots in Tigger's feeder. So she had sent them out with a packet of watercress sandwiches for Roo and a packet of extract of malt sandwiches for Tigger, to have a nice long morning in the forest, not getting into mischief. And off they had gone. And as they went, Tigger told Roo, who wanted to know, all about the things that Tiggers could do. "Can they fly?" asked Roo. "Yes," said Tigger. "They're very good flyers, Tiggers are. Stornry good flyers." "Oh," said Roo, "can they fly as well as Owl?" "Yes," said Tigger, "only they don't want to." "Why don't they want to?" "Well, they just don't like it somehow." Roo couldn't understand this because he thought it would be lovely to be able to fly. But Tigger said it was difficult to explain to anyone who wasn't a Tigger themselves. "Well," said Roo, "can they jump as far as Kangas?" "Yes," said Tigger, "when they want to." "I love jumping," said Roo. "Let's see who can jump farthest, you or me." "I can," said Tigger, "but we mustn't stop now or we shall be late." "Late for what?" "For whatever we want to be in time for," said Tigger, hurrying on. In a little while they came to the 6 pine trees. "I can swim," said Roo. "I fell into the river and I swimmed." "Can Tiggers swim?" "Of course they can. Tiggers can do everything." "Can they climb trees better than Pooh?" asked Roo, stopping under the tallest pine tree and looking up at it. "Climbing trees is what they do best," said Tigger, "much better than Pooh's." "Could they climb this one?" I'll pause there and we'll read the second half of the chapter in another video. Thanks for listening.